everybody, this is Gregory with how I lost over 100 pounds and have kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and maintenance. Today we're going to talk about a commonsensical approach to your weight loss and maintenance, and that is keep the junk food out of your house. Now before we begin, if you need help with your weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, which has tons of articles and recipes. Check out the podcasts. And lastly, if you appreciate my content, hit the like button right now and make a donation via PayPal. All right, so I talked about in the foundational videos, the kind of the first 12, the most important stuff, that one of the keys for weight loss and weight maintenance is not to have a disordered relationship with food. And most people who are overweight, including myself back in the day, had a disordered relationship with food. So one of the reasons why you're overweight or you might be yo-yo dieting is because you still have that, and that's okay. It's something you need to work on. It's a work in progress and so forth. But in the meanwhile, it's pretty prudential not to have junk food in the house. You're just less likely to eat it if you don't have it, right? Now, I mentioned in the Confessions of an Obese Child episode, I think it was episode maybe 6 or 7, the locked cabinet, that when I was a kid, my parents would either hide the junk food that my brothers would eat, but I would always find them. And then they eventually just put them in a cabinet and locked it, but I would break the lock. I mean, I needed that junk food to nurture me, so to speak, and to numb the pain that I wasn't getting the nurturance from my family at a young age. So if they didn't have that food in the house, and this is before I learned how to ride a bike in my teenage years, I would really have no access to junk food, and potentially it could have changed my life, potentially. Now, as adults, it's different. Clearly, we could just drive to the grocery store, and nowadays you can just order Uber Eats, which I think is a horrible app that we have, and there's nothing we can really do about it because you could delete the app, then you could just always call pizza or reinstall the app. But no doubt, it's a first line of defense to not have junk food in your house. It's a first line of defense. And what's the junk food? It's pretty much the middle aisle foods. It's all the foods that are packed with high calories, low nutrition. And I mean, these companies are very clever with their propaganda. We'll have a future episode not too far from now on food porn. They know what they're doing. They don't care about you. They care about the dollar that they want to get from you. So they want to make sure all these foods hit the bliss point, the perfect mark between fat, sugar, and salt, because that's the addictive food. And we talk about this quite a bit over at the podcast, The Awakened Man. So the junk food is addictive. It's addictive to our brain. Sugar, highly addictive to our brain. But not having the food in your house is smart. So like, for example, let's say you have a sweet tooth. Some people don't. Like my eldest son, he doesn't really have a sweet tooth. Some people don't. I do. I have a sweet tooth. And we talked about it in an old podcast, maybe 3-4 years ago, how aspartame, which is toxic to us, doesn't satisfy the sweet tooth. That's why if you ever drink a lot of Diet Coke or any of the zero products, they mimic sweetness, but they don't satisfy your sweet tooth. And that's why people who ingest a lot of artificial sweeteners actually have a higher rate of being fat. But that being said, if you need something sweet in your house, there are alternatives that you can do. And for example, get a low glycemic fruit, because fruit's nature's candy. And that's all of what the Paleolithic ancestors ate. They ate that and honey. That was really the only sweet stuff that they had. So get low glycemic fruit like the berries and eat those, right? Or if you want to make some whipped cream, just a little, eat that. That is a good way to satisfy your sweet tooth. I'm not a big fan of the packaged energy bar, granola bars, these kind of LAR bars, Luna bars, Cliff bars. They're just packed with a lot of preservatives, a lot of sugar many times, and they're just not natural. I think I'm a much more advocate of paleo or a modified paleo, or if God didn't make it, don't eat it. So fruits, of course, God made. I would tell you, of course, we'll talk about this in a future episode on which fruits to eat. There's so many fruits that are laden with pesticides, and so you have to watch the dirty dozens, the ones that are laden with the most pesticides. But first line of defense is have the junk food out. Yes, I get it. You can call. I get it. You can have pizza delivered. I get it. And this underlies the point. If you are tempted to order food at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or go on a Taco Bell run, They used to have those commercials, go to Taco Bell for the fourth meal, right, at 2 in the morning. If you have that need, understand you haven't done the deep work. It's okay, you got time to work on it, but it's always going to sabotage your weight loss or weight maintenance because you still have a disordered relationship with food. As I've mentioned many times, put food in front of a 4-year-old, what are they going to do? I'm hungry, they eat. And then they stop eating when they're no longer hungry. That's an ordered relationship with food. We didn't have that. So we need to get that. Part of that is cognitive behavioral therapy will help. But until you get that, eliminate temptation as much as you can. And step one, while you're working on this progress, is to purge the junk food out of your house. Guys, post in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. What's your experience with this? Please hit the like button, the notification button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.